Good morning. How are you doing today? Good? That's good. Me? Well, I had a bad night, but it is what it is. We have to remember that, each time we stumble, it doesn't have to make you crumble. And I find it really important to not focus on what went wrong in as much as who makes things right. Because the enemy wants you to focus on what you did that was wrong and wants to beat you over the head with it, making you think that you're a false Christian or, some terrible, horrible human being. And while it may be true that, no one is inherently a good person, he makes us better people. God does, not the enemy. that's not what I meant. But, yeah. Anyways, what's the topic of today's video? Well, funny thing yesterday was talking about how fathers should be, well, this is relating to husbands, and I'm not a husband yet. I mean, I would love to be, but that's up to God. That's not up to me. I could look for a wife, but that doesn't mean I'll find one. I could go out in the world and see if I can find someone, but that doesn't mean I'm going to find her. He's going to lead us together, if that is what he wants. If not, I'm fine with that too, as much as it hurts, but it is what it is. It just means I wasn't ready or deserving of it. Anyways, so what's the verse today? The verse today is going to be found in Ephesians 5:25. Husbands, love your wives, even as Christ also loved the church and gave himself for it. Now, what does this mean? Well, husband, it's important. So, the union of marriage is special. Two becoming one flesh. The man must leave his mother and father and cling to his wife, as it is written. And it is such a sacred union. And, the most successful relationships, the most successful marriages have God at the center. You ever wonder why that your best friendships are those that you have with people that, are seeking Christ just like you? How much more successful do you believe, your true, marriage and loving relationship with your partner is going to be? Because you both have the same principles. You both have Christ as the center. You both love him more than you love each other. Does this mean you do not love each other? No, that's not it at all. You two are to love each other. And honestly, if I had a wife, I would look at them and be reminded every day that God makes miracles happen. And I know it sounds cheesy, but it really is true. I can look around and already see it, but waking up to see them every morning, that just is such a good feeling. I really want that, but enough about me. Anyways, those of you who are married, love your wives, cling to them, for that is a privilege. Not everyone gets that. It's not a right, just because you're a man, it doesn't mean he has someone for you necessarily. I've had to come to grips with that, and I think most people should come to know that as well. And most people think they can handle a relationship. I don't think you can, honestly, because I've doubted myself too. The most important question to ask is not, how great is my wife going to be? It's, how much better should I be? Because right now, imagine this. I heard this in a video. I'm not taking credit for this at all. Imagine your perfect woman, right? You know the type. Or imagine your perfect man, right? They check all your boxes. Do you check even a single one of theirs? If not, that means you got something to work on. If you do, that means you're lying to yourself. There's always places you can improve on. And, we shouldn't look at this as a negative and say, oh, well, I'm just never going to get in a relationship. Not necessarily. That's something to pray about. And if you seek him first, he will add unto you. Now, what does that mean? Well, he will add unto you. Do you have to go out looking for a birthday present? No, they just give it to you. How much more important is a husband or a wife than some mere birthday present? You can replace a toy. You can replace a video game. You can replace a tire, but you cannot replace a person. More importantly, you cannot replace Jesus. It may seem like we do, especially through our actions sometimes, by putting him last and something else first, but we cannot truly replace him in our lives, which is why before we were saved, we just felt empty. We felt, there was this hole in our heart, and we could not fill it. We thought we did, but we just ended up more and more sad and more mad that we couldn't fix it ourselves. When in reality, we never could. But remember, circling back to the verse, husbands, love your wives, even as Christ also loved the church and gave himself for it. That doesn't mean to, run in front of a train and try to stop it for your wife to get home faster from work, It's not something as dramatic as that. But, some people hear and gave himself for it, and means that, we think more towards Christ's sacrifice on the cross. But giving sacrifice isn't something you only do with your body. It can be something you do with your time. You give yourself for that relationship, your wife, by spending time with them, spending time with your kids if you're lucky enough to have those, if you're privileged to have those. For those, again, are not a right, they are a privilege. Spend time with your children, spend time with your wife, and spend time, most importantly, with Jesus. But spend time with them also. Do not neglect them, but love them.